Are we on the proper track for a better future? Are we doing the right thing for a better tomorrow? What will it take to make our future great? These questions and more evolved in Mrs. Rawia Mansour's mind, and 1 year ago, she was driven to initiate the Sustainable Development Project.
Actually, what made me think about this initiative was the media, the Egyptian media. They were always complaining that they said there are no solutions for poverty in Egypt. So I decided to read about environment and found out that most of our problems are environment. Environment and poverty are directly linked. The poorer the environment is, the poorer the people are.
I think it's well known that a particular characteristic of Egypt's agricultural land is that it's highly fragmented, and the vast majority of the farms are quite small. In fact, people use the term postage stamp farms, and we have a danger, in fact, that many of these farms are not economically viable because the small size does not allow the farmers to produce enough to feed and take care of their families.
اللي فيش الا عودة الكيماوي والشكارة كنا بنجيبها ب50 جنيه 45 جنيه دلوقتي بنشتريها ب160 جنيه.
انما الكيماوي دلوقتي نروح نجيبه 160 جنيه منها. واللي هم اللي يعمل شويه اللي عنده شويه ارض ينشفوا منه.
انا اجيب منها 160 جنيه اوكل عيالي ولا هصرف على الارض.
فاحنا مثلا كل عاوز يزرع في محاصيل كتيره عايزين نزرع بس مفيش الكيماوي غالي والماء ضعيفه. فبتضطر نص الارض تبقى راقده بايره طول الصيف.
ما هو الكيماوي هو اللي بينتج الزرع، هو ينتج الزرع ويخليه يجيب انتاج.
الكيماوي بيبقى انضف واحسن للزرع، يعني احنا دلوقتي ما بنرمي السباع خالص، بنرمي كيماوي.
كيماوي زرع من غير كيماوي ما ينفعش.
احنا بنتعب والشمس بتحرقنا بس ما نقدرش نعمل.
I had initiative to help and to find a solution of how to help the poor or how to drop the cost of food.
An environmental development studies being carried out by experts and professionals from the IDSC and RAMSCO.
There is a scarcity in chemical fertilizers and that it is very expensive, apart from being harmful to the people and to the soil. And we discovered that we have a lot of agricultural waste that is being either left to form greenhouse gas. We have around 35 million tons of agricultural waste. 8 million of them are used into animal feed, and the rest is either left to create greenhouse gas and global warming, or some of the farmers just burn their agricultural waste. Organic waste, if we use factories, we would need around 94 factories in Egypt to form agricultural fertilizers and feedstock together with renewable energy. And the amount of fertilizers that we can get would be enough from those 94 factories, would be enough to cultivate 1.2 million acres of reclaimed land. And my plan was to plant organic, because thinking organic for the poor, not organic for the rich.
It's true that organic agriculture is getting a lot of publicity these days, and that's a global phenomenon. And particularly in the markets in Europe and the United States and North America, organic products command a very high market price. And this is an incentive for many producers to produce organic products. At the same time, it's recognized that conventional agriculture has in many cases actually been to the detriment of environmental sustainability. We've had problems with pollution from agricultural chemicals and agricultural waste. So going organic in terms of producing food is a desirable thing.
Using the 3 Chinese mantras, reuse, reduce, recycle, to preserve our resources and to go from a linear to a circular economy.
We have 1.4 million acres of desert that can be reclaimed and that can be used as eco-villages that will solve idle capacity problems. we can produce products that are healthier, cheaper, better for the soil, better for the environment, and it will also help making decentralization from the urban areas to the rural areas. And those eco-villages, we made a plot of a factory of 300,000 tons would serve an area of 50,000 acres.
احنا عندنا حوالي 575 فدان مزروعة بكل أنواع الزراعات المختلفة، فاكهة ومحاصيل وشتلات ومشاتل وإنتاج حيواني، وكذلك البرامج التدريبية بتشمل كل هذه الأنشطة. عندنا برامج تدريبية بالنسبة للمحاصيل الحقلية، بالنسبة للزراعة العضوية اهتمينا أكتر وأكتر بالشتلات والموالح لتنمية الصادرات. عندنا برامج متخصصة على الزراعة من أجل التصدير، وبنبين لكل الناس المهتمين بسائل التصدير من أول الإنتاج الشتلة لغاية تسويق المنتج النهائي في الأسواق الخارجية. واحنا نتمنى أن يكون في يعني مراكز أكتر، ونتمنى أن التدريب في كل المجالات مش بس في المجال الزراعي، في كل المجالات أن يكون له حظ أوفر وميزانية أوفر، يعني ريت الشركات والجهات والمنظمات تعطي للتدريب حقه.
Well, basically a lot of the training programs we do help out Egyptian farmers, graduates and beneficiaries, the two large groups we work with. Also just generally helps the Egyptian economy when we we do kind of analysis to figure out what kind of impact we do on a yearly basis, and we put at least about $20 million a year back into the Egyptian economy, and we don't use that much in terms of resources to do that through the seedlings we produce, through the cows that we crossbreed, that kind of thing. So we do a lot of good work here.
All Egyptian people live on 5% of the total land area, mostly in the Delta region.
Well, first let me say that about a quarter of the area under cultivation in Egypt today is reclaimed land. That's 22 to 25%. That's quite a big. You have to realize that I'm talking about the development movement that started about 55 years ago. The potential area is vast, millions of feddan. That's potential. And to realize that potential is going to take quite an effort. It's going to essentially involve bringing water to the land. And usually not just water, you have to bring infrastructure in terms of roads, power, and people. But the potential is there.
I'm reading to you from Earth News Archive, a new front in the battle against climate change opens slowly. Egypt, for example, contributes less than 1% of the world's carbon dioxide, but is expected to experience some of the worst impacts of climate change. Last year, the World Bank reported that millions could be forced from their homes because of potential global warming, induced sea rise, which could flood the Nile River Delta. That, in turn, could prevent the country from feeding itself, since areas surrounding the Egyptian river provides most of the nation's arable and residential area.
Over the past year, a huge amount of effort was made by researchers from various fields and departments to bring together a holistic solution for a sustainable development. The perceived startup period for this mega project is approximately 1 year. Results should be visible within 5 years. This will eradicate poverty, start a process of decentralization, go from linear to circular economy, improve both quantity and quality of land output, carbon trading, maintain long-term fertility in soils, reduce health hazards, promote ecotourism, and will create more than 1 million jobs. Empower women, support villages with schools, hospitals, social services, and much more.
Well, I think I mean, the key here in terms of going organic for Egypt is a wonderful farming environment. You know, we have some of the highest yields per area of land in the world, in the delta and in the valley. We produce a lot of organic material that's not used. That can be recycled. And in many ways, going organic is all about recycling nutrients and organic material in the environment. So I think for Egypt, we have a lot of the raw materials that we need to go organic. They're available here. We don't have to import them. And therefore, if by moving in this direction, I think we can reduce a lot of our dependencies on the outside. We don't have to import things. We can produce here in Egypt and do it in an environmentally sustainable way. Well, I think this new project that's being proposed really is exciting, and it holds a great deal of promise for the future.
The first environmental oath by Egyptian pharaohs is to prevent the polluting of the land and the Nile. It's our duty towards future generations.
This is a call for action.